Hello, and thank you for taking the time to tune in to Mood Food Podcast. Today's podcast is titled Maintaining Positivity. I'm your host, Jason Gordon. The views, opinions, and positions expressed in this podcast called Mood Food are in no way the views, opinions, and positions of the Department of the Air Force, the Department of Defense, the United States government, including resources listed during today's podcast. We are so grateful. We are hearing from people. You're leaving reviews. It's been amazing, and we really appreciate that. You're emailing us some show ideas. Thank you so much for that. And also, as a listener out there, if you want to be on the show, we can make that happen. If there's something that you're compassionate about and that you want to talk about, let me know. I'd be more than happy to schedule you in. I can call you, punch you in on this little board here, and we can have a good old time discussing whatever topics that you would like to discuss on the show. moodfoodpodcast@gmail.com is our email address. If you have downloaded us from Apple, please leave a review. I'm going to start reading those reviews throughout the podcast. So let me hear from you. Leave us a review. We're also on Facebook, so you can look us up at Mood Food Podcast. Very easy to find, like, and follow. Keep reviewing items shared in each podcast, because the more you review, the more you will see yourself making that amazing progress that you have been working hard to make and do and complete as you are provoked by situations that can trigger those unhealthy thinking patterns. And we know life happens, and that happens quite often, right? And that way, you're going to be fine-tuned and ready to respond to those productively with not the sourness that you may have been responding with before. And remember that reviewing is part of your mood food diet. Today's podcast, once again, is called Maintaining Positivity. And let's go ahead and move into today's subject and title of our podcast, Maintaining Positivity, and manage stress with a positive attitude. That is something that is so hard to do sometimes, right? Stress is a given. If you work, if you're alive and you're breathing and you're out and about, stress is going to get to you some way, shape, or form. You just have to know how to tackle it. That way it does not tackle you. So thoughts in negative situations can really impact a positive mindset and attitude if we let it. And sometimes it does happen, right? We're human. So keep in mind your conscious mind can hold only one thought at a time, usually, either positive or negative. If you deliberately choose a positive thought to dwell upon, you keep your mind optimistic and your emotions remain positive. So, how do we look at this? What is this like? You're like thinking, what are you talking about? Well, I'm talking about changing your language from negative to positive. This is how you view and the way you talk to yourself on a regular basis. And I hope that all of you are taking the time to talk to yourself with a positive attitude, giving yourselves out there some affirmations. And I know this sounds silly, but it really does help. This is really helpful when you might be working to solve conflicts, whether they're personal or work-related, wherever they're coming from. When you think positive about those solutions and those issues, you're going to find that you are going to be able to work through them more productively. And the results can just really help you get through that time better than thinking about it from a negative perspective, right? Negativeness just digs your hole deeper, and in that mindset, you get stuck in those thoughts that can really kill your spirit. Don't let that happen, okay? So, what are the words that are generally associated with problems that show up in our lives? And from A to Z, you can think of many different words. I came up with some here with the help of doing some research, and some of these can kind of help you, hopefully, today. Number one is situation. So, evaluate the situation that comes up, right? Don't let the situation get the best of you. Work through it productively. Don't let it work you over. Get positive people in your corner to help if needed. And don't be ashamed to raise your hand and say, hello, my name is Jason, and I have a situation, and I really would like to talk to you about it right now. I value your time and your wisdom. All right, so at least acknowledging, hey, there's a situation here and I may need some help with this. Number 2 is challenge. Challenge that situation, okay? Accept the challenge and utilize whatever you can muster to help make this test and challenge your story and your testimony so others can see your success. And challenges can make us rise to the occasions to make a difference, not only in our lives, but other people's lives as well, and to make us stronger and better in all that we say and do. Number 3 here is opportunity, learning moments, okay? I think of these humbling experiences that come up from time to time as learning experiences. The opportunity has presented itself. So these learning moments have many seen and unseen opportunities for growth and development as a person, employee, wife, husband, kiddo, you name it. You learn from these opportunities. So what you learn will carry you far because you have maintained positivity. If you add that negative component to it, it's like a plane with full flaps extended. That's a lot of drag, and it's not going to be pretty. It's going to be a rough ride because you're not getting that smooth air passing across the wing. It's going to be a rough ride. There's a lot of drag. It's going to slow the plane down, and you're not going to make much progress. So maintain that positivity when you can. All right? So we're going to talk about now some ideas to help manage stress. And I've had on here a couple of times, I believe, about managing stress from work, finding that work-life balance. So go back and review that episode. You won't regret it because those are some skill sets there that are located to help you get through. Even when times get tough, it's nice to go back and have something to reference back to. So please do that. So ideas to help manage stress. Here are some ideas you can use on a regular basis to help you maintain positive attitude and manage stressors. Stress can definitely change and challenge those the positivity and those thoughts that can come into your life. I mean, stress can really make things worse, and they call it catastrophizing, when one thing leads to another, to another, to another, and it's just negative, negative, negative. Try to break that cycle if that is something that you find yourself doing on a regular basis, because if you had the energy to think about it from a negative perspective, you have the energy to think about it from a positive perspective, okay? So resolve to not let it get you down. Make sure that first, resolve in advance, no matter what happens. Try to find that resolution. You will not allow it to get you down. Don't do that. Don't give it permission. Don't give it that much power, the situation or whatever happens. You will respond with a constructive and positive attitude. I feel like I'm giving orders here. I'm sorry about that. But I'm just reading the script here that I created. And I want to make sure that you really know that you are in control of situations than you give yourselves credit for out there. So try to maintain that positivity. It is not easy. It's not Disneyland all the time. Let me tell you, I'm human as well. And I've lived my life, I continue to live my life, and things just come from nowhere. We just have to know how to react to them, and don't give them that much power and control over us to really take us down a downward spiral. And you will take a deep breath and relax and look for whatever good the situation may contain, even though it's going to be stressful as heck. Just get through it. Maintain positivity as much as you can. And number 2 here is speak to yourself in a positive manner. Don't down talk yourself. Don't discount yourself. Don't minimize yourself. Don't criticize yourself. And, make sure that you take those negative thoughts that you may have about yourself, or you make a mistake and you're like, well, darn it, I'm dumb, I'm stupid. Don't say that. Don't say that, because that is a mind trap, and you can definitely get stuck in those types of cycles where that's all you think about. And sometimes, and I know I've mentioned it here on the podcast before, we are what we eat. Well, we are what we think. People forget about that. And the emotional scars and the things that we tell ourselves, we can tear ourselves down faster and more efficiently than anyone else. That is a terrible, terrible thing to do. So please don't look at yourself in a negative manner. Be positive when you look in the mirror. Say healthy things like you feel healthy and you're happy and you feel terrific. And I know this stuff sounds silly, but it really does work. It can really change your mindset from a negative to a positive one. And when I was researching today, I love this statement that I came across, and it's according to the law of expression, whatever is expressed is impressed. So whatever you say to yourself or others is impressed deeply into the subconscious mind and is likely to become a long-term resident of your personality. So make sure that when you are in that neighborhood, think and talk and speak positive thoughts about yourself. It's very important that you do that. And remember, it is impossible to grow without difficulty. So you are going to experience things in your lives out there that can be very challenging and make you have a lot of questions about things. And maybe your faith, maybe your marriage, maybe being a parent, maybe your occupation. But think about it. Those are growing experiences. If you become stagnated, then life will just be life with no challenges. You can't grow from that. I mean, I would really like to have a life with no problems, but really, where would I be today if I didn't have the problems? Honestly, I would not be where I am today if how I was raised and the environment that I was raised in and the things that happened while I was a kiddo, I probably would not be as motivated and dedicated and really, really driven to continue to learn and to continue to enhance my knowledge and skills to help others. And I know, like, my adverse situations that I've been through probably really have helped me I know they have helped me get to where I am today. And I wouldn't change a thing. If someone was to come in and say, hey, I have a magic wand, what would you change? You want to change your life? No, I don't. Because I know where I am today because of what I overcame yesterday. And I will never forget that. And I hold that true and dear to my heart as a reminder every single day that it is impossible to grow without having difficulty in your lives out there. So you must learn to manage stress, though. And I had to do this myself. You must learn to manage stress and rise above those difficulties in order to become a better person. Welcome each difficulty by saying, hey, that's good. This is what's happening right now. I'm going to take it. I'm going to roll with it, and we will get through this. And then look into the situation to find a good in it. Like I just got through expressing, hey, you know what? I'm not going to let it overtake me. We're going to work through this. I need some help. And so I'm not ashamed to ask for help to work through that and move forward towards your goals and dreams. Finally, start moving forward in your life by keeping your thoughts on your goals, your dreams, and on the person you are working toward becoming. It's very important that you do that. When I was younger, I could not make up my mind what I wanted to do when I grew up. And I'm still trying to figure that out, right? So, I have my hands in everything. I feel like a chef, and that I have my hand in every pot on the stove, trying to stir everything, keep it from burning. But I like that. That works for me. I don't like boring life. I want to be able to learn and continue to grow. And so what that means is sometimes I have a lot more difficulties in my life, but they're learning experiences. And I'm here to talk to you today, right now. You hear my voice, you know that I've overcome them. And I didn't succumb to them. And I did not wave the white flag to give up. I actually worked through them productively. And for that, I'm very thankful. But it took me asking for help. It took me talking to people that I knew would empower me, inspire me, not put me down, that would lead me in that right direction that I know I needed in order to make things happen for my life to get better. And it really worked out. Even where I work today, I am so thankful for the group of individuals that I work with because they make my day a lot smoother. And when I get worked up or I get stressed out, I express that. And you know what? They are supportive. I could not ask for a better group of individuals that are understanding, that are sympathetic, empathetic, and are really helpful, as we all are really challenged right now with COVID-19 and the disruption that's going on around the world. We really have a lot going on, and we need to find those allies and lean upon them and look to them for guidance and strength and encouragement, which means continue moving forward, right? Don't give up. And empower yourself. Give those individuals a chance to help you that you have around you. You'll be surprised if you reach out. You will see who's helpful and who's standing by, readily available to help you. So when things go wrong temporarily, respond by saying, you know what? I believe in the perfect outcome of every situation that's going to come and go in my life. And I'm going to make this work and I'm going to get through it. And just resolve to maintain a positive attitude. Be cheerful. and resist every temptation beyond measure toward negativity and disappointment. It is a hard chore, but like I said earlier, if you have the energy to think negatively, you have the energy to think positively, and the outcomes are going to be amazing. Just view a disappointment as an opportunity to grow stronger, okay? That's all I wanted to tell you today. I hope you find it beneficial and you have found it beneficial. We really appreciate you here at the Mood Food Podcast. You're making this podcast successful. We are here for you, and I mean that. We are here for you. And if there's anything that you would like to hear, let us know, because it's important to us that we are pushing out a message of hope, a message that's going to help you and your family get through whatever possibly is coming your way or has come your way, or you may have worked through it already. But you never know. As long as we are breathing and we are alive, life is going to throw us as many curveballs as possible. I want you to know one thing out there. I want you to swing at every single curveball. Do not let it pass you by. If you miss it, that's okay. You know why? Because you swung at it. And that's important. You didn't give up through those adverse times or those situations that may have really got the best of you. Don't let that happen. We are so proud of you out there. Keep doing great things, okay, everyone? We really appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining us for today's broadcast of Mood Food. Please make sure that you subscribe to us, you rate us, you like us, recommend us to all of your family and friends, and remember the disclaimer at the beginning, because we are going to be sticking to that always and forever. And remember to keep your mood full of positive mental food. And now I'm going to take time to read a review to you from one of our really good friends and relative, basically, Kimmy, down in San Diego. And if you would like to leave us a review, please do so on the Apple Podcast platform. I will be reading them, so please take time to do that. They are very valuable, and we really appreciate that in advance. So here's what Kimmy said down there in San Diego. She says, "Grateful for this podcast, relevant topics, and well presented. Relaxed and informal. Having guests on the show is a great idea. Very relatable," with a big smiley face. "This podcast goes down smooth like hot buttermilk biscuits." So Kimmy, I love you, honey. Thank you for saying that. You are amazing. I love the hot buttermilk biscuits part. You are amazing, and thank you for taking time to do that. And I'm going to leave you today also with a couple of quotes. I was looking through them, and I'm like, I love both of these quotes, so I'm going to read them to you right now. So please forgive me that I'm going to be doing two today, okay? And this one is by a very popular country music artist, and it goes like this: "Once you replace negative thoughts with positive ones, you'll start having positive results." And guess who said that? Willie Nelson did. He's got a lot of great music, though. I'm not going to complain about that. And the next one is by Harvey Mackay. And this quote is, "Positive thinking is more than just a tagline. It changes the way we behave. And I firmly believe that when I am positive, it not only makes me better, but it also makes those around me better." Amen to that. I have seen it and lived it. If you are exuding and just giving these positive vibes, you're going to be approachable. You're going to be credible. And you're going to be one of those type of people that people are going to be drawn to because they need that positivity. There's a lot of negativity going on in the world right now. So be one of those positive, bright lights in people's lives out there. You're going to make a difference. You already have. You have in us as a listener supporting this podcast. You're amazing, and we really appreciate that. That's going to do it for us today. I hope all of you have a great rest of your week. Be careful out there. Let us hear from you. And like I said earlier, you want to be on the show? Email us at moodfoodpodcast@gmail.com with your idea and what you would like to talk about on the show, and we'll talk about it, all right? Have a great day, everyone, and until next week, I'm your host for Mood Food, Jason Gordon.